with experiment wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment,
yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a what mission. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the drive and I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been under Mifflin, see the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit them with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit them with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla, just cause I say so. Electric whip like I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
Been on a mission like totally spice. On my bed, she bet, but she totally when I toast with like white, they completely match out.
What is up, party? So we got a special one today. We're going to be going over an interview. We're going to be having an interview with Will Duffy, the creator, I guess is a good way of saying it, behind the final experiment that is coming up. All right, here we go. Well, Will Duffy, thank you for coming. Definitely appreciate it, and definitely want to get into the nitty gritty of what's going on and what we're expecting really of it, with the progression of what's been going on.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yeah. So I guess let's dive right into it. I guess it's safe to say we can call you the creator of this idea.
That's right.
The final experiment. I guess you want to go into detail about what the final experiment is.
Yeah, I wanted to come up with something we could do to settle the debate over globe or flat Earth, which is a tall order considering people think that the issue has been settled for thousands of years, considering that people think we've been to space and taken pictures of the planet from space. But the reality is the flat Earth movement is growing. It's growing exponentially. It's growing internationally. It's growing very fast. And so I think the fact that that is true, I've seen it with my own eyes. It's growing a lot even in the church. I currently pastor a church. And so because of that, I think that it means this issue might not be settled. When it's not settled in the eye of the beholder, that's where the issue, in my opinion, comes into play. So I spent a lot of time, many months, trying to figure out if there was something that we could do that would convince both sides that they were either right or wrong, and something that we could do in collaboration, meaning flat earthers and globe earthers could join together and do this together. And so I came up with the final experiment, which is pretty simple. It's expensive, but simple. And that is this: fly to Antarctica in the southern summer, so this December, and see whether or not there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. On the flat Earth model, when the sun is going over the Tropic of Capricorn, when it's making its widest circuit around kind of the biggest part of the flat Earth, or at least of what we know of, you'd never have a sun doing a circle like this over your head if you were in Antarctica. But that's exactly what the globe model says must happen, because that's also what happens in the north due to the tilt of the Earth. So I thought that would be a pretty simple experiment to do, something that we could see, observe, couldn't be manipulated. And so that's our plan this December.
That's a really good plan. When you said that, the trip's being paid for, that's with the assumption that you are paying full out of pocket. I know you've stated before you're a pastor, and I'm pretty sure you've kind of gotten grumbles from different sides and everything. But there's no connection between the funding of it and your church, because you did state, it is part of your church that you've talked about it in situations, but it's has nothing. There's no link between the church and the pocket part of it, right?
No, there's no link at all. So I came up with this idea, did not tell my church. I didn't tell my church until 8 days ago. So 8 days ago from the pulpit was the first time I even told them about the final experiment. Some people in the congregation had heard about it through watching YouTube videos, but I hadn't even told them about it. If you tell any member of our church this idea that the church would be paying for this or any part of it, they would laugh. We are a very small church
Mm,
running on a shoestring budget.
okay, I completely understand that part of it. So in going back to the expense part of it, that obviously entails getting the participants to Chile. From there, it would be to Antarctica, um, which is all inclusive, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah. The participants that go on my dime will not have to spend any money. That is, unless they want to do something in addition to what we're doing. If they want to go see something in South America while we're in, southern Chile or
yeah,
whatever, if they want to buy any souvenirs, that'll be on them. But getting them from wherever they live to Punta Arenas, Chile, and then getting them on that 4.5 hour flight south to Antarctica and then back home, all on me.
okay, okay. And that's equipment, because I know I've looked at the website for Antarctica logistics, and a lot of the stuff that they include is the basic lodging and whatnot. But it also stated that you didn't have they didn't include equipment, um, and other amenities that you would, I guess, would need to have out there. So that obviously is part of it as well, right?
Yeah, it's mainly clothing. There's not really much equipment you'll need. There's equipment they have out there if you want to go bike around, ski,
Mm,
hike, stuff like that. And that's all included as well.
okay.
But yeah, if
Um,
somebody doesn't have winter clothing, you got to have winter clothing, or you shouldn't be going to Antarctica.
yeah, no, absolutely. Now, when we talk about what you guys are going to be doing out there, it's not just the 24-hour sun observation, correct? You have I think you call it the scoreboard, that basically kind of is a way for people to give ideas about what you guys can do down there.
Yeah, so our main scoreboard on our website, which is thefinalexperiment.com with dashes, the dash final dash experiment.com. That scoreboard is keeping track of how many of the 24 flat earthers and how many of the 24 globe earthers that we invited to participate are going to choose to participate. It's really a scoreboard to see which side has more confidence in their position. We made participating easy. And I do think that all forms of participation are valid. The easiest form of participation is for one of those 24 people on each side to interview me on their channel. How are they participating? They're participating by getting the word out. The more people that know about the experiment, the better, because then there's more accountability, there's more ideas, there's more collaboration. The second way they can participate and get on the scoreboard is by making a suggestion, which will make the final experiment a more robust experiment. We want to make sure after the fact, people don't complain that this wasn't done right, or this wasn't done right, or this could have been done better, or whatever. We want to literally weed that out. We want to make everyone happy that we're doing this exactly like they would do it if they were the ones conducting it, so that way everybody can be happy with the results. And then the third way, which is the hardest, is to join us in Antarctica. That gets you on the scoreboard as well. So since I'll be paying for one flat earther and one globe earther, assuming we get one from each side to accept, they'll get on the scoreboard. Dave McKeegan has already accepted on the globe earth side. Jaron Campanella and Austin Whitsitt have already verbally accepted, but we're working on some of the details in the background, so they're not quite signed up yet. And then you've got other participants on the Globe side who are crowdfunding. So
Okay.
Globey McGlobeface is crowdfunding on GoFundMe. If he can raise the funds, he will go and end up on the scoreboard for that as well, although he already is on the scoreboard for making a suggestion to make our experiment more robust. So
Nice. That's okay. Okay. So I've heard things like in other interviews, taking like a drone, would they be allowed to use a drone out there, or
Yeah,
have you
you have
talked?
to have you have to get permission from ALE, Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, to have a drone. You have to fill out a form. You have to, show that you're, capable of flying a drone. So I'm very capable of flying a drone. I've had a drone for years. I've got drone videos on YouTube that are very fun of wildlife and different places on our Earth. So yeah, you have to get permission. But once you have permission, you can definitely take a drone. There's also planes that are landing. Because again, just today, I'm so frustrated. I don't know why people can't just like get with the times. Like, let's just work on this together. But just today, a flat earther told me that you can't fly to Antarctica, and that if we're going, which we probably won't go, it'll be by a boat and it'll go to some small island. It's like you're missing everything.
Yeah.
This is about the 24-hour sun. So even if we theoretically did go to an island, if it was far enough south, we'd still be able to see whether or not there's a 24-hour sun. But it's like, dude, we're taking a plane. So
Yeah.
since planes land at Union Glacier, which is the camp we'll be at, you have to be super careful with drones around airplanes.
Completely understandable. So when it comes to the participants that are going or being invited onto the trip, um, I noticed you on your website you have a list of, I believe it's 24 flat earthers. Um, how are you guys going through that list? Or I guess I should let me back up a second. Are you getting assistance on how to engage with the with flat Earth and their invites? Um, Basically, uh, coming up with your list. Was
Mhm.
it on your own, or was it with the aid of the Globers that would probably know most of them?
No, that was on my own. So I went and looked at who I thought had the best following, who made the best videos, who were the best defenders of their position, and that's who I invited.
Okay,
So the reason I chose 24 is because everything with the final experiment revolves around the 24 number. It's the year 24, 2024. We're looking for a 24-hour sun. And so, yeah, 24 from each side.
okay. And with and you had stated before it's you're paying for the one Glober and the one flat Earther, but
Yep.
there has been a change in plans, so to speak. Um, we've heard that Jaren is willing to go, but he needs a friend. Witsit has verbally said he would go.
Mhm.
Now, not sticking this as 100% fact. This is obviously you've been in the flat Earth community for a while, so I'm sure you know how rumors work here. There is talk that Witsit has recently found out that his wife is pregnant again, and if that is the case, he wouldn't be going. Um, Again, the truth of it, I don't know. Have you talked to Jaren? And if Witsit isn't able to go, is he a complete no show? And if that's the case, where are you on the list of who to ask?
Yeah, so let me deal with the rumor because it's not true.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say. If Austin just found out that his wife was pregnant when she's due in 2 weeks, that's a problem.
Okay.
So yeah, he's known she's been pregnant for a very long time. He just told me that that's taking priority right now, is getting things ready for the baby. He has not said no either. He has said yes to going to Antarctica multiple times while knowing his wife Kai is pregnant and knowing her due date.
Okay.
So I don't think he's going to be using that as a way out. To answer your second question, I haven't specifically talked to Jaren about this recently, but Jaren has told me in the past that it doesn't have to be Austin. It could be someone else. So I think Jaren is definitely going to be there.
Okay, that's great news. I actually bringing my personal thing into. I actually think Jaren is a good representative for Flat Earth. Mainly because he does go out there, he does do the footage thing. He has a good idea of what needs to be done to try to get these conclusions done. Um, who he goes with, it would be interesting to find out. But that also means that you are paying for a second flat earther, so a total of 4 spots.
Well, no. So when I agreed to pay for Austin or a second flat earther, I gave up my spot. So as it stands right now, if they both say yes, And if they are willing to go without me, that would leave me out. I don't think they want to go without me. I don't want to go without me. I don't want them to go without me. And so my going is up in the air as it stands. A lot of people are kind of freaking out about this, and there's no reason to. We still have quite a ways to go. So there's a lot of options. There's crowdfunding. There's me obtaining, private funding from friends. There's all kinds of things that could happen. So yeah, let's, I just want to let that one play out.
Okay. I personally, I think I think it's pretty important that you go, mainly because you are the face of it. I I do understand where you're coming from. Whereas you are putting the bill for this, it's not just you're not just just throwing
Yeah,
everything all out like that.
just to be clear, it would be devastating for me personally if I couldn't go, but I'm also willing to take one for the team.
Mhm.
And so, because this is more about the final experiment and it's more about making this definitive, getting the right people to go, I would give up my seat if I had to.
Okay. Now back to the experiments that you guys are planning, or that you guys are bringing up, to try to do there. When it comes to Antarctica logistics, are you guys got free reign? Obviously not free reign of Antarctica, but free reign of the camp to do whatever experiments you guys want to do within reason and permission.
Yeah, I would have to ask permission if they would want us to do other things. And so, yeah, I would ask them permission for that. We have to remember that we're joining an existing trip. We're joining an existing trip that a company puts on every single year. So that's important, right?
Yeah.
People who are, conspiratorial could say, well, we'll put this trip together and it's a fake trip and they're not going to go to Antarctica and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no. ALE, Antarctic Logistics and Expeditions, have been flying people to Antarctica since 1987. So they're very established. This is not fly by night. This isn't something we created just for this. And we're joining an existing trip. So the purpose of that, the beauty of that, is that people can join us if they want. Anyone can join us. I don't make the rules. If you want to go, contact ALE and sign up and go, which people have done. I can connect you with our contact there if you'd like. The second thing is, which is more important to me, is this. They go to Antarctica multiple times a year, at least a half a dozen. And so if you don't want to go on the trip we're going on, which is December 14th through the 18th, go on a different trip. Go on one of the trips before our trip. Go on one of the trips after our trip. Go next year. The reality is people can go at any time. And so I'm a little frustrated because I thought people wanted to solve the debate. That's why I came up with this. And because I found a way, I figured everybody would be like, yes, let's go, let's figure this out. But people are just making excuses. It's like, no, if there's a lie, there's really not any amount of money that you would say is not worth uncovering the great deception. Any amount of money would be worth it. And so if there's a deception, let's go, let's figure it out. I'm paying for it. But if there's not, let's go and let's stop wasting our lives debating this.
Yes. I get that you've stated a few times this is kind of like in your head a end goal or end means to this argument that's been going on. I know Jaron has stated, and this is kind of divided flat Earth quite a bit actually. He has stated that if there is a 24-hour sun when you guys go down there, it kind of debunks flat Earth. It doesn't work on a flat Earth as he stated, where over time and a lot of the conversations I've had with flat earthers that I know, what they've kind of given me is well, it's not going to debunk flat Earth. It's going to just mean we have to revise how we look at things. Have you changed your stance that it's a flat Earth ender, or are you kind of has it changed any bit with what this will actually resolve?
No. So number one, it will end one of the two models, and it will end one of the only two models that we have. We don't have a third model. Okay. So if there's a third model, no one knows about it. And so yes, maybe there's a third model that nobody knows about, but we will falsify either the globe or the flat Earth this December. That's the important piece. Now, Yes, I'm seeing what you're seeing, which is a change. Now, the reason Jaron is not changing his position is because he's consistent. He's in pursuit of truth. Like, he wants to know what the truth is. So why change the position, especially changing a position before you do an experiment? It makes zero sense. Now, for the people that are now saying, well, this wouldn't refute flat Earth, I have a challenge for them. And the challenge is very simple. Show me one flat earther prior to the final experiment, which we revealed this year. So show me one flat earther prior to 2024 that ever said either A, there was a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, or B, if there was a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, we would still have a flat earth. I don't believe that exists. And so that's very telling to me.
I could say I could tell you from personal experience there's a lot of flat earthers that would easily just without even question. Again, you're starting. I know whether if that's changed for you or not. I know you're starting to see how it works though. I've heard many flat earthers say that this isn't going to end flat Earth. I think an important aspect of it is that flat Earth doesn't actually have a model. Very important that people understand that to have a model, it's contrived of data and observations. You can't have half and apply it to a model. That's why I worry that if you feel that it's going to end flat Earth, the debate, that if it doesn't, what will be your conclusions to everything that's happened up until that point?
I would push back a little bit, and I do think they have a model. I don't think, their model might not have as many data points as the globe, but I do think they have a model. Now, here's the important thing. They especially have a model when it comes to Antarctica and the sun. And so that's why I picked this, is because they have stated over and over and over again what the sun should look like while in Antarctica. And it should, come in from the east and go off into the west, more northeast and northwest, and it should never go behind you. It should never be south of you, and it definitely shouldn't do a circle around your head. So I'm
Exactly.
thankful that they at least have that, because that's why we can do this test. When both sides will take a position on something, we can test it, right? But if there's something that both sides don't take a position on, like, for example, if the flat earth side doesn't take a position on a size of the earth like the globe side does, we can't really do a test on that, because if we find out the globe side size is wrong, that doesn't all of a sudden mean there's no globe. It just might mean, oh, maybe it's a different sized globe. But if both sides have something, we can do a test and falsify one of them. And that's what we have with Antarctica. Um, I don't know what's going to happen. There's so much going on right now. It's still over 5 months away. And so it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. I think that if there is not a 24-hour sun, I think people on the globe side need to publicly say they were wrong. And I think anytime a flat earther starts a video, it should start with, uh, why is there no 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Every video, no matter what they're going to talk about, to get the whole world to know we don't live on a globe.
Yeah.
On the flip side, if there is a 24-hour sun, I think the flat earthers should all say that they were wrong. And every single glober that does a video or debate should start with, there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, which means we live on a globe, and challenge these flat earthers to explain that 24-hour sun.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That would be the honest thing for both sides to do.
One thing I do hope you learn in this community, because I did hear you talking about this in other interviews, and even before that I contact you, and again, I do appreciate you contacting me fast. I'm sorry it took me longer to respond to that than it did you respond to me. Um, was as me asked, I like to go around and play that devil's advocate of it. And I've talked to Globers who playing that game, going, if there isn't a 24-hour sun, I'm under the full understanding that that pretty much crushes our whole globe argument. I'm talking seasons, the sun, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
But in so what ended up happening is I go, hey, if this happens, are you going to openly admit to Flat Earth that the model is destroyed? Even at the conversation level, obviously we haven't done it yet. So even at the conversation level, there are Globers who deny even that aspect of it. So if the Globers are denying it, you're going to have to expect that the Flat Earthers are going to deny it if their side doesn't come out to a conclusion. If anything, I would say that would be something that you should learn to accept pretty quick. Because what I've learned, because I've been in this unfortunately for about 8 years now, and it's been a up and down journey. Like I told you before, I am an ex flat earther. I was a flat earther for about 4 years, um, and it to me the only worry I have about this is there was never anything that I saw that one thing changed it. And I
Mm.
worry that if you build it up, that one thing is going to change it. It will be less climatic. Once the results come out and everything. I do believe it's going to change some flat earthers, without a doubt. I know there's a 24-hour sun. I'm sure you know there's a 24-hour sun, and just playing the devil's advocate is just for the will of flat Earth. But it's one of those things where kind of have to understand that it may not go away, but the goal isn't to change all of flat Earth; it's to change one, right?
Mm.
I was one of I was one of few flat earthers that left, became an ex flat earther, and can't expect to get through all of them. You can only hope to get to someone like myself, who takes that information honestly and truthfully, and goes further with it. So, if anything, I would say, hope to change someone honest mind. Uh, Unfortunately, that doesn't run rampant. What you consider Jaren to be doesn't run rampant flat Earth community.
Hmm.
Um, but I do agree that this whole experiment is an absolute awesome idea, right? You don't get it. One of my questions was when I was a flat earther is, why aren't we going to these places? Why aren't we doing these things? So regardless of it stopping it, I do think the new flat earthers, the people that aren't flat earthers that see this, are definitely going to have a realization that someone's doing something about it. And if anything, see that a sect of flat earthers aren't being honest with it. And I think those are the real things that you want to show with those. Um, with that being said, the ones you're picking are obviously predominant flat earthers. Is there opportunity for, say, someone that is lesser known, doesn't have 100,000 subs, to be able to get on this trip? I think earlier I asked you where we're at on the list. Are you guys prepared to scrap that list and just find a flat earther that is willing to go?
Well, I don't think we're going to get through the whole list of 24 flat earthers without finding a volunteer for the free trip. That would be insane, to turn down a free trip to Antarctica when you've been saying for years that you want to go to Antarctica and it holds the key to the shape of the Earth. But any flat earther can go with us. And so they just have to pay.
Mm.
And so they either need to pay for it themselves, they need to crowd fund it, they need to do some combination of the two, whatever they want to do. However important this is for them, if they want to go, they can go. There's plenty of room on the plane. It's a big plane. It's a 757.
Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, you stated that there's no tickets have been paid for yet. I think you're in the commitment, medical, and then you said it was a deposit, and then
Deposits have been made for, I should say this, a deposit has been made for Dave McKeegan
the person that's actually committed so far,
on the
to
Globe side.
on the globe side.
Mhm.
Are there a certain amount of spots that the camp is accepting for the December trip?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it's limited to 70.
Is there an opportunity? Is there a chance that if you don't get any commitments, that those spaces would be filled and the trip is a kibosh?
No, very little chance of that. So I told ALE my idea a long time ago. I think last year, toward the end of last year. So they know what I'm doing. I gave them kind of a rough estimate of how many people I think would sign up. And so I think those spots are loosely held for me. And if they ran into a situation where they're out of spots, and the only spots left are the ones I'm holding, they would come and ask me to, move on it, or they're going to have to give the spots away. And if that happened, I would do a video and we'd figure out what to do, but I don't see that happening.
Oh, but there is a link between you and Antarctica Logistics that if, hey, we're getting into crunch time, we know the spaces you want, you're in contact with them enough that would probably be the case.
That's
So,
right.
but as far as we're concerned, I'm sorry, as far as you're concerned, you're not too worried about that being filled at the moment.
No, not at all.
But if we did, then you would probably start looking at lesser flat earthers to get it the ball rolling.
Oh yeah, we'd move down the list. I'm hoping we have, Jaron and Austin signed up here in the next couple weeks.
Nice. Do you have any other interviews set up, or better yet, do you have any flat Earth interviews coming up?
I do.
Do you want to say who those are, or you kind of?
Yeah, it's an interview I'm a little nervous about. It's with a channel called Awake Souls. Just so you know, I know little to nothing about them.
Okay, I guess that could bring us to the next point of it. You've so obviously I've done the background looking. I found your YouTube for your church and everything.
Cool.
And one of your statements, you were talking about, in one of the videos, you were talking primarily about what flat Earth has done to your or what flat Earth can do to your congregation. If you don't mind, I'd like to listen to it real quick, and then we can kind of go through the question of that, because it does kind of play into the interview you have next.
Okay, great.
As you can see, the flat Earth ideology is now being associated with the Christian religion, specifically the Bible. If people are told by Christians that the Bible teaches a
That is on. If it doesn't, I can. I think. Well, I know you know the upload.
I remember what I said.
That's at my end.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Good, you can go ahead and play it off. It gives context to it, so he can kind of go.
Flat Earth, that will all but guarantee they will lose any interest whatsoever in ever reading the Bible or taking it seriously. This is something that must be dealt with now before it gets out of hand. And at AKF, we are a small church that likes to do big things. So we are facing this head on, and stay tuned, as next week we will be providing irrefutable evidence that we live on a globe. And coming in 2024, we are working on something massive, which we think will finally put this flat Earth idea to bed for good.
So the reason I definitely wanted to play that is Awake Souls is very religious channel, and I know that. I guess you would say that one of the worries, I guess it would be a normal worry for a pastor at a congregation, is another idea of how things work that doesn't agree with your own. I would say that Awakened Soul would probably be be exactly what you were speaking about in that upload, if so to speak. It's two of them. They have a very different flat Earth view than any of the flat earthers you're dealing with. When we're talking Jaron Whitsitt, these guys definitely kind of off in the weeds about it. I think they believe it's like a Pac-Man Earth or something like that, where the sun kind of shoots across and then suddenly pops back up and shoots again. I know they do a lot of scripture talk. I'm not religious, so I can't give you the details of how they feel about those things, but I thought it would be at least a good warning on that. How much motivation do you have for this experiment? Is it a personal thing more, or is it is it something that actually does worry you with your church, your congregation, or religion in general?
Yeah, so as a pastor, I have a vested interest if there is something growing within the church, that doesn't mean just my church, it means within Christianity, to find out if it's true or not. Because if it's not, then I need to fight it. But if it is true, I need to embrace it. So I'll give you an example. There are people who think that God heals amputees today. People that have lost limbs, there are Christians saying that he heals them, that like they regrow their limbs. Now, I think that's false. I don't think God heals amputees anymore. I have a reason for that, but we don't have to get into that. And so, if that idea is growing within the church, which it kind of is, I would step in and say, okay, I disagree with you guys, and I don't believe you're right, but I'm open to being wrong. And so I would come up with an idea of like, okay, we're going to create an experiment. Go show this to me. Let's go see it with our own eyes. Let's go videotape it. Let's go interview someone who apparently had their limbs regrown. But if it's not true, then I think we need to fight against it. Not only fight against it, but do an experiment to expose it. Make it clear that they're lying, if that makes sense. So yeah, from that standpoint, I absolutely have a vested interest in making sure, because again, the flat earth ideology is growing within the church. It might be growing within the church more than anywhere else. And so if it's false, that's bad and we should stop it. Hence, the final experiment might do that. But if it's true, then I don't want to fight against that. And if it's true, that might be a reason why it's growing so much within the church. And if it is true, then let's get on board and expose more people to the truth. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's absolutely not a quote unquote holy war against flat Earth Christianity, as you stated. It's more of a is it true or not? If it's not true, it does need to stop, and it's important to you.
Yeah.
It is a very big part of it. I
Yeah, it
absolutely get
is.
that part.
My current interpretation of Genesis 1 is not a flat stationary plane covered by a dome. But if I find out, there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica when there should be, they're faking videos to try to make you believe there's that we live on a globe, then I'm going to say, okay, I think I might be wrong in my interpretation of Genesis 1. It's a big deal.
I think we kind of went through the main details of it. I kind of want to I see some questions. I got questions in my DMs that I know people wanted to ask, and I told them I definitely asked their questions for them. So these are going to kind of be scattergunned because how they gave them to me. I have one question. I guess this is pertaining to your books. Do you have any future endeavors of writing books about your experience here, or just flat Earth in general?
No.
No, no, not at all.
People have no idea how hard writing a book is. I had a guy, his name was Max. He helped me write my book. Well, he didn't really help me write. He really helped me make a book. Like, you have to understand how to make a cover. You have to understand how to get an ISBN. You have to find an interior designer for a book to make all the pages and formatting and everything. Just writing, like either writing with a pen or typing in Microsoft Word, that's the easy part. Getting everything else done is incredibly hard. I have no desire to write a book on any topic going forward.
Those were in the past. You're happy you did them, but
Yeah.
there's no studying and I okay, that
No.
makes it. The next question is, will you guys be able to leave the camp area at Union Glacier?
Uh, it's hard to answer that because I don't know what they're defining as the camp area. But if they mean leave our tents, yes. If they mean leave the general vicinity of the tents, the answer is yes. They've got bikes, they've got skis, and so there's a ton of areas that we can go. Not only that, we're going to be taking a scenic flight around Antarctica, not around the whole thing, but we get a scenic flight. So they're going to literally like take off and go fly around Antarctica.
Nice,
So
nice.
it's going to be fun. We'll take lots of video.
Yeah, yeah. That was the next question. Will there be service, internet service, etc. In Antarctica, Union Glacier specifically, I guess.
Yeah, we're expecting there to be service. So we believe there's Starlink. That's what we've been told. But we just don't know what the bandwidth is or how we'll be able to use it. And so I'm worrying about that later. Like, I got to get people to sign up first. I
Yeah.
got to get people to commit to going. Once all of that is done, so everybody's medically approved, everybody's signed up, everybody's deposits made, everybody's paid for, flights are booked, then it's like, okay, now let's focus on the nitty gritty, the cameras, the hard drives, the drones, the Starlink,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
So, is there, and jumping the horse again, do you have a budget for what you're willing to allow to do this experiments there? Because obviously we could be like, you could buy a balloon and go up to 100,000 feet over Antarctica, but obviously
Mhm.
that's a lot more logistics and money that you're probably not even interested in doing. But
Yeah.
are there stipulations to what people can suggest for the final experiment?
Yeah, so the money I'm spending is going to be specifically for the final experiment, which is the sun. So a balloon doesn't really have anything to do with the sun. Um, so if I doubt we can even have a balloon in Antarctica. Usually those things land very far away from where you are, and so there's really no way to get there. It's not like we can just hop in a car and go on a highway in
Yeah.
Antarctica.
So
So anyway, if somebody makes a suggestion that has nothing to do with what we're doing and it's going to be very expensive, they're going to have to pay for it.
so there are obviously limitations to even what you can even do or is even capable to be able to do there because of logistics, environmental situations, etc.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I picked the sun.
Yeah.
Makes it
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. Exactly. So if it's not involved in the sun, being able to observe the sun in that definitive observation, then it's
Mhm.
probably going to be at the expense of whoever does come up with it.
Yeah, like for example, Wolfie 6020 suggested taking GPS trackers units on the plane, and he's donating those. So he's buying those, and we're taking them, and we're gonna give one to each participant. That's an exact way we're looking for collaboration on this experiment.
Yes, because that was why I was asking you about service out there because I heard a lot of situations where the paying for the flat earther to get out there being a situation of what about the extra stuff, the in between the life stuff. I'm sorry, one second. That dog's in there. Not to husky it up right now. So is there a chance? Be backtracking a second. Dog's kind of got me distracted on that. Okay, I lost train of thought. My dog's got me off. Okay, let me go back to the questions in the chat. Make my life a little easier trying to remember. Um, oh, remembered again. That was one of the issues I was asking about the internet service. I think it'd be a great addition to it for a flat earther who is worried about, my income, so to speak, because I've heard things like
Mhm.
stipulations to it being, well, the time I'm gone, the expenses to do the trip. I think if an idea would be if you're able to live stream some of these observations you guys are going to be doing at any point, from Chile to the end of the trip, that would probably be the best, one of the best things to be able to go. You guys can't say we're fudging something because you guys watch us all do it right then and there.
Mhm.
So hopefully you guys are going to be able to do that because obviously that would be a great addition to it.
I agree. We will live stream as much as we possibly can.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think I have a few more questions for you. I might look at my chat real quick. I think it's been covered. I've heard you talking about it, but if something were to happen, and this is part of the medical, the medical, and all that comes with it. If something happens out there, you stated there's no doctors. Is it a situation where they have a medical team, but it's very limited, or is it just
Yeah, I don't know the answer to your question. There actually might be a doctor there. What I should have said and what I meant to say is that there's no hospitals. So if there's like a
okay?
true emergency, then that would be a flight out, and they would do that. Everybody that goes will have I forgot what it's called, evacuation insurance
Okay.
and medical insurance that would cover an emergency flight out. But we're not going to be hella skiing or anything like that, so I'm not worried about it. We're going to be looking at the sun, so it should be pretty safe.
Yes, yes. Okay, the next question would be, oh, um, you in a few of the other interviews that you have had, you stated that you kind of came into this through Facebook, and you had a friend that um, basically kind of told you through it, walked you through the steps. The fun steps that I call you thought you knew. That is kind of what made me a flat earther. When you come in, you're like, hey. I have the arguments to stop this, and then they start dishing out stuff, and you go, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Um, is there was there any ever a invitation to her to go, being that that she was a friend and everything, or is it uh, still the idea of you want someone to go that will end as much as you could of the flat Earth, right? It's
I,
content creator
I
wise.
we need someone to go on each side that people trust, right? So in this debate, people are called grifters, people are called shills, people are called liars on a daily basis. And so the idea is there need to be people there from both sides that people trust. And we need someone from both sides to hold each other accountable and make sure they're not doing any funny business. So no, I never considered paying for her to go.
What
My
is
friend.
Yes. So with I got my guy inside. So with Keegan, for him to be going, the importance for him to go is obviously going to be this time in the flat Earth debate, his experience in doing experiments and whatnot.
Photography.
Okay, so is is there, how do I say it? Well, I guess you've already answered that, because it was more the question of, for me, was does Keegan need to be there? I personally think that anybody can represent the globe that would go, because personally, you would just be making the observation, right? It's not
Mhm.
a real science to do these things, and I assume you're a pretty damn smart guy from where you're at in your life. Um, could you ever consider yourself that Glober, or do you feel that it's just you're so committed, you've already committed to him going, that backing him out would just is not an option?
Yeah, he's way more important than me to go. I mean, any of these big people on the globe side, I'm a nobody. So all of these people have been in the debate. Here's the important thing. If I go, remember, I'm a nobody. So if I go to Antarctica and I represent the globe side, and I'm like, hey guys, there was no 24-hour sun. Sorry, flat Earth is right. People are going to be like, who's this Will Duffy guy? Oh, he's probably a flat earther. They probably set this whole thing up. Oh, he's a pastor. Oh, he's definitely a flat earther. That's why we need people who are established in this debate to go.
Okay, understandable. Um, Within reason, I think we kind of already covered how I feel the flat Earth side versus goes with it. Do you, when you started this the final experiment in what I consider the community, I'm pretty sure you kind of noticed it. It's a group of people, a group of flat Earth and Globers that kind of congregate with each other and do this debate over and over and over again. Um, have you started to get help with the predominant Globers that are around to talk to how to talk to them, how to persuade them, I guess, to want to go? I don't know how to phrase it in any other way.
No, no. It's pretty simple. We ask and they can say yes or no.
Okay, so your only interaction basically with the Globe and the Flat Earth side is these interviews and whatever back and forth you're having in the behind the scenes of it.
Yeah, emails, texts, Zooms, whatever people want.
Nice, that's good. Good. All right, I think check my questions, because I've ran out of my questions. To check to see if they have any questions. Um, are you planning on doing any other debates? Debates before this, or right now you're just focused on?
Yeah, I have no desire to do any debates, but if someone wanted to debate one single topic, I would do it. And there's no way anybody's going to take me up on this. I am so tired of hearing that you can't go to Antarctica, that you can't fly to Antarctica, that you can only go by boat, that you can only go to the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula. So I would debate that issue. I would debate the issue of, can you go to Antarctica? Do people go to Antarctica? Can you fly to Antarctica? Can you go to 80 degrees south? Can you go to 90 degrees south? I would debate that.
Is that the only debate you would have, or are you open to other topics?
No,
Okay, it's
I,
right
I
now.
would. I've had some people interested in debating me on the existence of God, Christianity, theology, stuff like that, and I'm totally open to that once the final experiment is done. This is taking up way too much of my time, and it's fine. It's the nature of the beast, right? It's what I signed up for, even if it was unknowingly. But this is taking a lot of time, and so once that's done, and I'm not putting anybody off, like, mark your calendars. First week of January, reach out. I'll come on your show. I'll talk about all that good stuff. But yeah, I don't want to debate anything right now at all. But I'm just kind of tired of the Antarctic stuff, of saying you can't go there. And so it might be worth it to do that debate, so we could just pull up the websites. Here's this company that goes. Here's where they go. Here's this company that goes. Here's where they go. Just so we can, like, move forward. We gotta move past that nonsense to focus on the final experiment, because I want the final experiment to be the best.
Yes, I completely understand that, and well said. I definitely hope that we can get the flat earthers that you do have committed to go. I think you said you had a contract. I don't think we touched on that. What is the contract that you want? I guess right now it'd be Jaron and Witsit to sign. You said Keegan already
Well,
signed it, right?
no. So both sides would have to sign it. It would be very simple, that they can't back out, that they can't just not show up for their flight. This is very expensive. And so they would be liable legally for reimbursing me for any out of pocket costs I have if they don't show up. That's pretty much it.
Okay, so that makes complete sense because I've definitely heard different aspects of that contract. It's good that it's a very basic contract. I think we kind of went through all the questions that I have in my chat.
Awesome.
And my questions. I do absolutely appreciate what you're doing. Like I said, I am an ex-flat earther. I think one of the biggest issues is that we don't have enough doers, right? We have a lot of people that want to talk about it. I definitely hope that it all goes through. More importantly, I hope you get to go. I mean, you're thinking of this. I think it would probably be the worst time of your life if you're sitting on your couch during December while this is going on.
It wouldn't be the best, but it also wouldn't be the worst. I would enjoy it very much, just like everybody else is going to enjoy watching. But yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to be there.
All right, well, I absolutely appreciate it. I'm gonna let you get out of here.
Cool.
Anyone who has any questions or any suggestions for the experiment or want to interview, because you're going to be taking interviews for long up and much further on until you get closer
Oh
to
yeah.
it. They can go ahead and go to your website. I remember there's a contact. Very quick email. They respond immediately almost. I think it was within hours. It was actually
I
my fault.
respond.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. It was actually my fault this took so long. I think I was
Yeah.
probably about 4 days out. I do apologize for that.
Yeah, if you
But
could link to our website in the video, you can contact us on the website. I'll respond. You'll have my email. And then follow us on YouTube. We do tons of updates, multiple updates a week. And yeah, we're excited, and we'll keep everybody informed as to how things progress.
I appreciate it, Will. Thank you very much. You have a good
Bye
one.
bye.
All right. Guys, I actually got a lot out of it. I hope you guys did too. There was things I wanted to touch on, but wasn't really necessary because he kind of went over a lot of the things that I didn't have to even ask. So I appreciate of that. I am definitely eager to find out what happens with Witsit. I do know he kind of said he knew about the Witsit thing, but at the same time, maybe things change. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll go look around, figure out what's going on, and maybe I can get you guys some more information on that. I'm going to go ahead and end this out. So it's a very explicit upload. It's the interview, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to go live again, probably in a few minutes, kind of do the hangout and talk about what's going on and let's BSing since I didn't go live earlier. I'm going to end this out. Demon Stride. I'd like to for everyone understands. I've had some computer issues last night. I want to first off thank Demon Stride. He is literally the reason I'm able to do this interview today. Reached out, told me, hey, I'll help you produce it, help you get everything up so you don't have to worry about your computer. So Demon Stride, I fucking thank you so damn much, my friend. For anybody who wants to hang out, go and check things out with Demon Stride. You can go to his website, medicinalmassmedia.com, or medicinalmass.com is his website. That's all the links to the YouTube, et cetera, or the Discord server, Medicinal Mass Media. We're always there hanging out. Those things are in my chat. But yes, Will's links are in my chat. I put those in there previously. I am absolutely going to want to reach out to him in January. Hopefully we can get him in here before the long list of other interviews. But guys, thank you for coming and joining me and getting to know Will a little bit more and get a little bit more detail for some of the questions we didn't really get in a lot of the other interviews. And can't wait to see more. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I will start again, but I'm going to end this.
If it disagrees with experiment, and that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is. It doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment,
Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a what? Mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the brakes and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I don't ever bother with a critic. Hit them with a chronicle of Riddick. Boom, bottle full of Ritalin. I hit them with a little bit of riddle me this, riddle me that. My bad, fell asleep at the gas. No time to wait though. Elon Musk, I'm trying to bankroll. New Tesla just cause I say so. Electric whip like Ivan Van Gogh. I just did it. I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Okay, let's get it.
I've been on a mission like totally spice. I'm bet she bad, but she totally nice. Nu så blue en het doos wil ik white. Kom niet met jou, dat is over mijn lijk. Je doet het for sure, but